Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and today I'm here to introduce you to the Stampin Positioner. This is Stampin Up's newest tool. It's a Stamp Positioner tool, and I'm going to show you how to use it, some of the things you can do with it. I'm not going to show you everything. However, what I want you to know is that beginning on February 3rd until, I believe, March 2nd, somewhere in there, I'll put the dates down in the description. If you decide to sign up as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you will get this tool in your starter kit for free. Plus, you get to add on $129 worth of the products that you want. This is actually worth probably $49, and you get $129 of your choice of products for $99. So it's a good deal this month, and the Stampin' Positioner tool is pretty cool. I'm going to flip my camera and we'll get started. So when you get the tool, it comes in a box and it has directions, and there's not really a whole lot. It's how to use, how to clean, how to care for it. It's pretty easy. Just clean it with mild soap and water. Really, I'm just using a chamois with water on it. And I'll show you how to use it. So the tool comes with this plate. This is a gridded plate. It's fairly thick plexiglass. It will be, it's good because the way it works is the pressure that it puts the pressure across the whole board. So you don't even have to press hard with this one. Two magnets that actually attach to this magnetic board. This magnetic board up here has a ruler across the top and down the side. It's hard to see, but if you look closely you can see it there. And then on the back it has this foam, so it's skid resistant. Two magnets. These magnets are very strong, but you can see that they're easy to pull apart because they have these little tails on them. So if you make sure that the tails are up, it's easy to get off and move them around. And then we have also another plate that goes with it too. It's the same clear plexiglass, it's just a smaller version of it, but I will show you some great techniques with that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started. One of the things that you can do separately is you can purchase grid paper. One side is metrics and the other side is imperial, and it actually slides. I don't know if you can see these little pegs here, but that's where the grid paper slides. Now I like the grid paper because it really gives you a really good ruler to measure on, and it's just another way to keep this plate clean. Although this would just clean up, especially with our classic inks, it would just clean up with a little water and a chamois. Alright, so let's get started. A couple of things I'm going to share with you. We'll start with, alright, so we're going to start with just a piece of basic white cardstock. This is a quarter of a sheet. I'm going to put it, when I'm using it like this, I'm always probably going to put it up in the corner. So I have like the one and the one. So this line here is what I'm lining up with, and I'll add my magnets. Alright, so I'm going to show you first with the two-step set. So I am using the stamp set Petals of Beauty. I'm going to use these two stamps so I can show you how easy it is to line up a two-step stamp set. And I'm going to start with the detail. You can start with two-step stamp sets. You can start either way. I'm going to put a flower right here, like that. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my plate, and I'm going to pick it up. And as you can see, sometimes these stamps are so sticky that they stick to the stamps, which is fine because I'm always going to line this up when I use my paper horizontally like this at that 1 by 1 inch mark. So I can just go ahead and put my paper back. I'm going to flip this over. We're going to ink it up. We'll ink it up with strawberry slush. Put some ink on there. And you can see where I got ink on the board, which is fine because even if it's on that board, it is not going to hit my paper. Alright, so then you put these, you have to do it the right way. Put these back in the holes up here. These are the little holes, little pegs. And these are spring-loaded, and then there's spring-loaded pegs down here. And then you just press down. And really, the longer you stay down, the more ink that's going to soak into your paper. Does that make sense? All right. So to clean this stamp, you're just going to go ahead and wipe it off. And you see where I had that ink on that plate, that does not get onto your cardstock. Now I could go ahead and stamp a whole bunch of these. They'll always be stamped in the same position as long as my paper's in the same position. However, this is a 2-step stamp set, so I want to I really want to try something because I have a feeling that I can use the other side of the plate. Let's try it. But this is live, so if it doesn't work, it won't be on there. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to line up your second stamp. So this is a 2-step stamp set. So I get that lined up exactly where I want it. Make sure my paper's lined up. Then I'm going to go in. I flip this over so this side doesn't have a stamp yet. And I'm going to pick that stamp up. I don't think it's going to work. All right, so put this back like that. I'm going to take my stamp and ink it up. Let me find a lighter pink. Let's see, I used strawberry, so we'll use Pretty in Pink. See how that looks. Ink up that stamp. Again, I got ink on my paper this time, and that's okay because I want to see if it actually touches that paper. If it does, then this is not probably going to work. All right, so once I've got that lined up in those holes, press down, pick it up. Yay, it worked. All right, so you get your 2-step stamping. You can use both sides of the plate, so you could set it up like this and then just keep going, flipping and doing this and doing your projects, no matter how many you want. Or, like I said, you could do one layer, take that one off, put on another layer on the same block, and you're good to go. But I did want to try that, so I'm really happy to see that you can actually use both plates. Now, when I use that second plate, I will tell you there are no feet on this end. So this is just sitting on here. It's kind of crooked. So you might want to be careful. I did not get ink on my cardstock, which is great, but it does give you the option to do that and then press down, and you're just pressing really on this middle section. That's how you get that. So that's awesome. That worked. Yay. All right, let me put these stamps back. Try something new. Oh, wait. This time, I'm going to come in with a piece of paper. Got some cut here. I'm going to use this stamp. All right, so I've got a piece of paper. Again, I'm going to go right to that same corner because this is just going to be my go-to. My go-to is always going to be the 1-inch by 1-inch corner, so I have the straight line here. Set the magnets down. I'm going to take this love stamp and line that up. And then I'm going to take the smaller plate. And the smaller plate is going to go on these pegs. And the nice thing about the smaller plate is I can see the grid, so I can see if my stamp is straight by this grid line. So that's just another little technique to watch for. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the stamp, arrange my paper where it was. You do want to make sure your paper is staying in the same spot. And then I'm going to take that strawberry slush ink, ink up the stamp, flip it over, stamp it down. And then if you want to do tiling stamping, you can just go ahead and move it down to the next 2 pegs and press it down. Move that magnet out of the way. But you can see where you could just stamp that same image all the way down your paper. And you get that cascading look. That's kind of fun. I've done a couple of them since, so here's another one done in a different color. I love that. And I did this one and actually did it onto a card base, just making a really cute card. So, all right, that is called tiling. Go down my list here. Oh, I know. probably wondering, does it can it be used with our cling stamps? Now we don't sell cling stamps anymore, but of course many of us have lots of them. And I'm going to line up my paper. I'm going to use this cling stamp. Put that there. And I'm going to take my big plate, pick up the stamp, make sure my paper's where I want it, ink up my stamp with a little strawberry slush. The nice thing about this is if I don't get a complete image, I can actually re-ink it and stamp it again as long as that paper stays in the same spot. All right, and so I'm going to put those on the pegs. I'm going to press down, move my fingers around it just to make sure I get a good impression. So yes, you can use the cling stamps with the Stamp Positioner. This is really good for anybody that is weak in the arms, a little bit shaky. But yeah, you get a really good impression. I love that. I love that impression of that. All right, now a couple of other things. So one of the other ways that you can use this is you can actually stamp up in the corner. So this little peg here is flat on one end, and it's got a little a pyramid here so that your cardstock can go in that corner. So if you're stamping a whole bunch of things, you want to do a whole bunch of images, you want to make it fast and easy, that is the easiest way to line it up, is to just put it into the corner. Always the same corner, always the same piece of cardstock. So one of the things that also you can do with this is using a stamp, such as this one out of Delicate Pines, has a little curve to it. We're going to use that one. And pull that off. I want this to stamp here on the corner. So I'm going to pick up that stamp. I can pick it up with either the plate, or I could pick it up with the smaller, if it fits, yeah. Either plate will work. So I'm going to pick up the stamp. One of the things that I did notice when I was doing a lot of stamping is I was finding myself putting the stamp down upside down. So I was picking it up and actually having the flat part of the stamp here. So you want to be careful for that. I don't know why I was doing it. It was the first few times I used it. All right, so I'm going to ink up this branch. I'm using a little Mossy Meadow. Making sure my paper's in the corner. Going to go ahead and stamp. Pick that up. And then I'm going to switch this to the next corner. And just go around my paper. So we'll ink that up. Put that down in the corner. Line that up. Stamp it down. And you can see how I'm going to be able to stamp this into a circle by just moving that piece of paper right around in a circle. Always putting it up to the corner because that's the easiest way. Re-inking. You always want to make sure you go into the same holes that you did the first time. And re-ink it. Stamp it down. And you end up with a great wreath, which is super easy to do. Now, the biggest part about this is making sure about the square paper. So you need to use square paper to do a wreath, but you need to make sure, you know, that it matches up. You can make a bigger wreath and then just add in on the straights more branches. But that is kind of a fun technique that you can use with any of our curved stamps. Have a little bit of curve to them. That will work with that. So that's the Stampin' Positioner. There are other things you can do, and I'll be using it throughout some of my demonstrations and my tutorials over the next forever. Because you can line up dies, so you can cut a whole bunch of like flower dies and then make a template and stamp away and get all those images right in the die where you want it. So line it up easy. So anyway, don't forget, Stampin' Positioner is available as a free add-on to your Stampin' Start Kit during the month of February, starting February 3rd until I believe it's March 2nd. But like I said, I'll put it down in the comments. Thank you and have a great day.